It's a great joy to come across a well-written biography of a person whose life and work, even after more than 100 years, resonate with millions of people around the world. In this video I will talk about Irving Stone's book Lust for Life, which is about Vincent van Gogh. For this video I will use clips from two movies about Van Gogh, Loving Vincent from 2017 and At Eternity's Gate from 2018. Which are also really good pieces of cinema, and if you are a fan of Van Gogh, you will probably really like them. If you want, I can make some videos about them in future, but today we are talking about this Irving Stone's book, Lust for Life. So let's jump right into it. Thanks to the fact that Irving Stone wrote this book in 1934, he had the opportunity to meet people who knew Vincent, visit the areas in which he lived, and get access to his extensive correspondence. Thanks to this, he was able to write an authentic and high-quality biography, which will be very difficult to reproduce nowadays. The very title of the book speaks of the fact that the author had a great understanding of Vincent's life. Also, among all the biographies written by Irving Stone, this one has the best ratings. A useful addition at the end of the book was also a comment from the author, in which he talks about the motivation with which he wrote the book. He describes in which part of the book the informations are fully authentic, and the other hand in which part they are partially adjusted. I see this as a beneficial thing because thanks to this we know what was added by the author and which events were historically accurate. The book is a wonderful description of Vincent's hard life. Thanks to this, a reader can gradually discover Van Gogh's personality, and it isn't only about the events he lived through that made him the person he later became, but the book also tries to look into his head and describe his psychosis and emotions. The book tries to grasp these emotions and place them into context of his life. Thanks to this, there is an effort to rationalize and understand them. By the end, you are able to imagine what kind of person Van Gogh was and why he lived so much on the edge. The book is a wonderful description of Vincent's hard life. Thanks to this, the reader can gradually discover Van Gogh's personality, and it isn't only about the events he lived through that make him the person he later became, but the book also tries to look into his head and describes his psychosis and emotions. The book tries to grasp these emotions and place them into the context of his life. Thanks to this, there is an effort to rationalize and understand them. By the end, you are able to imagine what kind of person Van Gogh was and why he lived so much on the edge. The book is at the same time so intimate that whether it is about Vincent's life as a priest in the poor mining village or his manic depressive states while painting, you can feel a strong sympathy for this troubled man who tried to be helpful to those around him. The text also depicts his love relationships, which dragged him down emotionally and financially, but as long as he felt love, it was the only thing that he cares about. The story also perfectly captures the very close relationship between Van Gogh and his older brother Theo. For Van Gogh, he was the most important person on earth. Theo not only supported him financially throughout his adult life, but above all, he provided him a lot of mental support. He was one of the few who believed in Vincent's talent, and their love for each other was unconditional. Some interpretation of Van Gogh's suicide, which isn't part of this book, suggests that he killed himself because he felt like long-term financial burden for his brother, who had trouble to support his own wife and child. Thanks to their close relationship, hundreds of letters they wrote to each other have been preserved, and in them Van Gogh describes his feelings very openly. His brother died shortly after Van Gogh, and they are to this day buried together in a small village north of Paris. Van Gogh was a man capable of transforming the darkness of his life into something beautiful. The idea of the book and his life could be captured in one of his letters in which he wrote to his brother Theo. "A great fire burns within me, but no one stops to warm themselves at it, and passers-by only see a wisp of smoke, but I want to touch peoples with my art. I want them to say, 'He feels deeply, he feels tenderly.'" Although he was an underappreciated artist all his life and never became wildly famous, he had faith in what he was doing and was convinced that his work had value that people would appreciate it over time. In one of his letters he wrote, "I can't change the fact that my paintings don't sell, but the time will come when people will recognize that they are worth more than the value of the paints used in the picture." The book is very easy to read. Whether you are a fan of Van Gogh's art or not, his life's journey is a fascinating story of steadfastness and dedication of a man who wanted to stay true to himself. It is therefore the powerful biography of the troubled man who was thirsty for life and tried to find happiness, but many times it was beyond his strength. So this was book Lust for Life by Irving Stone. What do you guys think about it? Did you read this book and did you like it? If so, what was the impression that it had on you? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, if you finish video to this part, thank you for your time and have a great day.